Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about one of my builds that I'm updating now, and this is the Stamina DK Drogo. And I tested it even on Battleground and on no CP campaign where I actually am, and I find it really good even without changing anything. I will show you now the stats. The stats here. I have 22k, almost 23k of health, 32 and 8k of Magica. Stamina regen is really low and Magica too, but I don't care because this is a gank build and we recover a lot of a lot of stamina doing heavy attacks. Weapon damage is 2.3 on the bow and 3.4 on the two-hander without any buff. If we buff ourselves, we can reach 4.2k, and if we are use the potion, you see we can reach 5k. 5.1k of weapon damage without the buff from continuous attack. This passive here. Without this passive here, with this we can reach like 5.4, 5.5k of spell damage. So because we don't have the weapon damage glyph proc now, so with this and the continuous attack we could reach a higher amount of weapon damage. Then for the gear, it's almost the same as the previous patch. We are using 5 clever alchemist, all divines, okay, 1 heavy and 1 light, all divine traits, 1 valid threat and 1 kina to gain more weapon damage. We are using 3 jewelry of agility, all enchanted with weapon damage, 2-hander of maelstrom to have a more weapon damage. It's the same if you wanna go with the sword or the maul. The axe is not that useful because we don't proc the bleeding at all, because we are going to burst the enemy down. So you see, axe is gives you bleeding, but you have only the 16%, and maces goes to ignore 20% of physical resistance. This means that against a tank build are better to use mace, but a sword gives you more damage against everyone, so it's up to you. Because if you face Magica build that are going with the shields, penetration is useless. So maybe I don't have the Maelstrom two-hander sword, so I use the two-hander mace. But if you have it, just use the two-hander sword. I think it's better, slightly better. Then this is all for the gear. The food I'm using here is the B-stat food, health and max stamina to increase our stamina as much as we can. And for the potion I'm using essence of immobility. I need to craft that more. That gives me health and stamina and immobility, okay, for 15 seconds. These are good. Actually, I try to use the essence of speed to gain a major expedition, but I like more to have magica and stamina recovery, sorry, health and stamina recovery back, because now with all the problem of sustaining, I prefer to have stamina and health, because in an OCP campaign I find harder to heal myself because we don't have any champion points to boost our healing, and so I think it's better to have a potion that gives you health and stamina. So this is all for the gear. Now let's see, the skills are almost the same. On to Enderbar, we are using Critical Rush, Nice Gap Closer deals ton of damage. Multi armaments, this increase our heavy attacks, and we are doing heavy attacks with the two-hander and with the bow, so having this ability here is really good. Then Reverse Slice, I like this morph instead of the other one because this morph gives me the opportunity to deal more damage to to a second target that is near near the first the one that I'm hitting. So I like this more because take like is AoE damage. Okay, has 6.5 meters of radius, and this compared can help me to kill two enemies without doing not only one single target skill. Then we are using Breaking Blow only if we are facing a tanky one. We are not using a lot of Breaking Blow. I don't like to spam Breaking Blow. Consider that the stamina, we don't have regen, so don't spam the skill, just use heavy attack and try to burst the damage and then avoid to keep going with the damage, okay? Then Rally, our main healing, good buff for major brutality, and remember, if you use Rally, you have to wait a little bit to obtain a good healing, okay? Unless you will receive really a bad healing and it's worth nothing. So if you are taking damage and you just already use Rally, just do a dodge roll, pop the vigor, move a little bit, and then use it Rally again, because this will help you a lot to sustain yourself. Then Take Flight, really a really good ultimate. It deals ton of damage, it's AoE damage, it knocked back the enemy, so it is really good. The combo heavy attack, take flight, and the reverse slice are really awesome. Then on the bow bar we are using poison injection, our main entrance ability. You know that does change the bow heavy attack charge. Okay, you see I'm just keep press the heavy attack button, but you see I cannot hold the arrow. Okay, so try to time yourself to just fire the arrow and the poison injection. You see, there's actually a time when you end to charge the bow, because the bow is different from the from the staff or mace or any other, because if I charge a bow and I press the skill first, okay, sometimes it fires before it is all charged, and this is not good, okay? So try to timing yourself and to fire it. You see, it fires first that it ends, and this is not really good, because we are not gain stamina back if we are not charging all the heavy attacks, okay? So we need to have a full heavy attack to gain stamina back. Then we are using Dragonfire Scale, really good to sustain, because there's a lot of Magicka source or other that are using Crystal Fragment and other things, and popping like this, it can be used for defensive. Just pop it and dodge roll and kite around the rocks, or if you see that there's a Sork or someone that is charging the crystal fragment or the bow from the Nightblade or others, just pop this, swap back, and do critical charge. Using a gap closer with this, if Sork fire crystal fragment, you you reach him and the crystal fragment return to him really faster because you you are close to him. Okay, instead they just they know that if you are, I don't know, just like at that rock. Okay, if they do crystal fragment, I popped up the shields, and the crystal fragment takes time to return to them. But if we pop this and we do the critical charge, okay, if we get close, okay, so we are like more closer to them, and so the crystal fragment takes less time to return to the enemy, and this is good to burst the enemy that are not so expert to avoid the damage. Okay, then Radiant Mage Light, really good to avoid the Nightblade ganking because we cannot be stunned with this ability. Okay, those changes, we don't have half of the damage reduction from stealth damage anymore, but I still like it for defensive skill and for offensive skill because you know, last passive for Mage Guild is it's empower your next attack. So if you are on hide, okay, you buff yourself, okay, then you pop up the potion, use the inner light, charge heavy attack, and then fire the poison injection. Okay, fire poison injection and heavy attack, and this normally will take down half or more of their health. Okay, then Camouflage Hunter, this is here because we have more weapon damage from here. Where is it? Okay, here, Slayer. This passive gives me 3% of weapon damage for each skill of this skill line. Okay, so I have actually two, Camouflage Hunter and Flawless, and this is because it gives me one weapon critical. And weapon clinical means that in an OCP campaign we have the 32% of critical damage instead of like 17. Okay, I know it's low, but we are not focusing only on the weapon critical. We don't want to create everything, but Camouflage Hunter is good if we create from hide. We have 8%, we have minor berserk debuff that every Nightblade has always. I know this is gay, but it has other important things. Then Vigor, our main healing, really good. Remember to use Vigor and avoid some damage with the Dragonfire Scale or Dodge to actually let Vigor healing you, because it's a healing over time, so it needs time to actually heal you. And then we have Flawless Stunbreaker. It is only here to have more weapon damage. We actually don't use any time. We don't have any way of using because Take Flight costs less. You see, 125, 110, and this is a win, and stun this not. Okay, so I want to go on two-handed bar to use my finisher. Don't ever use Flawless Dawnbreaker. Okay, this is all for the skill. Now the champion points. I know that here are not used. We cannot use here. I will show the stats on another campaign, but for now, let's see the champion point here. I have 100 on Warlord to reduce the cost of break free. I have 50 on Warlord. 100 on Tenacity to actually gain more from my heavy attacks. Okay, we don't have any on Mooncalf because we actually have really low regen, so it's useless to put point here. Instead, we put point on roll dodge. So roll dodging, it's reduced. Not here because we are not on CP's campaign. Okay. Then on the blue one, nothing on apprentice, 100 on master at arms, 75 on mighty, and 36 on 35 on precise strikes. Why I put more points here than here? Because those change mighty. Before the patch, mighty gives us 25% of more damage. Okay, now it only gives me 15%, and the last 25% only gives me 1% more. Okay, so I prefer just going with 75 here, and actually use master turn, because we are using all direct damage, EV attack, breaking blow, take flight, executioner are all direct damage. So these are all busted with this stars. And so you know, it gives me 25% more of damage. Okay, that's why I like it more to put more points here than here. I actually don't use any point here on the shattering blows, because having this it's enough to actually burst down the sword shield. Okay, precise strike should actually have a little bit more of damage when we crit, because we don't have any thaumaturge, any dot except of poison injection, but it's stronger enough. Is strong enough without the thaumaturge. Piercing is totally useless because we are not try to kill the tanky one, or at least we can try to kill them, but not with a burst damage. Okay, and then against any magica player that has the shield, piercing is totally useless. Then I have 60 on Ironclad. We don't have any resistance, any critical resistance. Okay, you see, critical resistance is at 0, but I find it's better to have damage reduction on direct damage, because normally there's Nightblade, but not only Nightblade can do direct damage, and this is better than this, because maybe the enemy players is not doing a critical damage, and so critical resistance is useless, but it's doing direct damage, and so it is reduced by this star. And even if they crit Ironclad, it reduces the damage. Okay, then 60 and 60 on Harden and Elemental Defender, and 30 on Quick Recovery to actually have more healing. Okay, more healing received. This is all for the champion points, and for the build I just travel to the CP campaign to actually show you the stats when I'm on the on CP campaign. So I of course have more magicka, and more stamina and more health. The weapon damage won't change. Okay, you see my stats are a little bit higher, 25k of health, 37, almost 38 of magicka. The other one are the same. Okay, you see, I actually can reach the same amount of weapon damage without the potion. Okay, this is all for the build. So if you like the video, just put the like button, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys, and see you. Bye bye.